we doing, Devils fans? Welcome to another episode of the Jersey Devils Brocast. Doing a shorty here on YouTube, doing a little post game now and pregame for the game coming up against Pittsburgh and what was an interesting yet predictable night, kind of, for the Devils and how this season has been going. But I guess we have to begin. But before I start, you can always listen to the Jersey Devils Brocast. We are live on Radio Garden State, Tuesdays, 9 to 10. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook. And of course, you're here on our YouTube page right now. So click subscribe, like the videos, comment. Let me know if you don't agree or like what I'm about to say. But let's start right from the beginning of the night. It was a great pregame. I was not at the game tonight, but could certainly feel the energy in that building, the vibe in that building, how excited everyone was to be back, to be at the Rock, to watch the Devils game live, to wear the Olympic jerseys. So a lot of that in the crowd, a lot of Jack Hughes jerseys coming out. It was great. I mean, that's exactly what you want. And there's like that momentum opportunity here that you'd want this team to grab. I think the fan base desperately wants to believe in this team, and you saw that tonight and how they came out. Oh, it was something like 48% of ticket sales were done after the Cold Medal game. Like, clearly there's some energy tonight and people wanting to be there. Gary Bettman showed up. PK Subban was there. The Devils ownership group was there. The governor was there. It was a big night tonight. Celebrating Jack Hughes, the other Olympians. I thought Jack said all the right things. It was a great start. Bringing Tage Thompson out, showing him some respect. I thought that was really cool. Didn't like how Tage responded during the game and scored a goal. We'll get to that. But the building had a lot of energy. I thought there was a lot of kind of that building block to kind of build on, right? Building blocks to build on for this game to get some momentum going and to start this off on the right foot. Coming out of the Olympic break, we've been saying it, 25 games to go. Devils probably need around 40 points to get into the playoffs. That's 20 wins or some combination of 15 wins and 10 OT losses, something like that. They need 40 points. That's probably that magic number, 40 points. Not a good start. A little bit more of the same. Devils fell tonight 2-1 to Buffalo. 28 shots for the Devils, 30 for Buffalo. Scoring summary, Tage Thompson with that goal. 8-10 in the second period, assisted by Krebs and Bowen Byram. Then Krebs, 10:36 into the third from Tage Thompson. 2 points tonight for him, goal and an assist. Timo Meier, the goalie pulled. 6 men on the ice, 17:30 into the third, assisted by Hughes and Bratt. Fight tonight, Siegenthaler and Zucker. I thought Siegs won that fight. Good to see a little bit of that from him. Devils 0 for 3 on the power play, 2 for 2 on the PK. But I think the stat that really stuck out for me going on natural stat trick post game was 40% Corsi for as a team 5-on-5. And you look at their Corsi numbers and Fennec numbers and every possession number possible 5-on-5. The only line that looked okay was Glass, Aminaho, and Gritsyuk. Everybody else got caved in 5-on-5, which are maybe Jack, a little bit of an Olympic hangover here, or a hangover quite literally from what we saw at the 11 Club down in Miami, especially my buddy Joe Meyer. Jack had a front row seat for that, so that was cool for him. But I think all of us, including Joe, would have assumed, yeah, Jack might be kind of missing a step tonight. Might be a little slow. Been traveling all over the eastern seaboard since he got back from Italy. Jack kind of looked like Jack, especially in the third, created some opportunities, created some offense, had a really good chance there late in the third. Seemed like when he had the puck on his stick, he was making things happen. Was it his best game? No. But I thought, all things considered, he was fine. Brad had a breakaway, couldn't put it home. Nico had a breakaway, couldn't put it home. But again, those possession numbers 5-on-5 are not very good. They can't just, it's not that they don't score 5-on-5. You know, I remember back, I think it was the 2014 season, first year after Kovalchuk left, Devils brought in Jaromir Jagr and Damian Brunner and Ryder and Klo, yada, yada. That was the year they did the Stadium Series at Yankee Stadium. DeBoer's last full year with the Devils, and their possession numbers were actually great. If they just had the scoring touch, they would have been in the playoffs. Every other number was great. Right now, for this team, those underlying numbers are not very good. They're not great. They're not playing as well as you would expect when you look at this roster. Now, did they play terrible tonight? I don't think so. They held a Buffalo Sabres team that's fighting for a playoff spot, and they know this means a lot to them to make the playoffs for the first time in a very long time. They've been on a hell of a run here since Black Friday. I think they're 22, essentially 22-7 in the 29 games since, something like that, some crazy number. But they've been playing well. Similar situation as the Devils, guys coming back from the Olympics. Tage Thompson was all over the Eastern Seaboard as well, and he had a goal and an assist tonight. But because the Devils can't score, it seems like every deficit feels insurmountable. Like a 2-0 deficit might as well be 10-0. And when this team was playing well back in 23, when they dominated the regular season, made it to the second round of the playoffs, it felt like there was no deficit they couldn't overcome. They just had that ability to come back and score. Even the year after, it felt like they couldn't maybe hold a lead because of their goaltending, but they were always going to come back. They were never really out of it. For a period of time last year, beginning of the season, same thing, and for basically 6 weeks this year. But otherwise, it's been kind of more of the same. Once they fall behind, it's just, man, this team can't score. You can never fall behind. And I also wonder if that's something that's starting to creep into the psyche of the team, that they're holding the stick a little too tight. A quote from Lemaire back in the day when he took over in 2011 was, I've seen teams hold the stick a little too tight, but this is something different. It's like they have no confidence and lost the ability to play. It's not like this team has lost the ability to play, but just you almost seem like the guys just don't necessarily have that confidence. Like Brat right now, Nico, who played well in the Olympics, but it's like just couldn't put that home. I know the puck was bouncing on him there in that breakaway. That's kind of tough. In the telecast, they made a pretty good point on that. Danico and Salvador talking about when that happens, you kind of now have to reset in a split second on what you're doing, and it's kind of tough now to put it home. But regardless, still they couldn't do it. And you have to wonder if that's kind of part of this too. Once they fall behind, is there the belief that they can come back? And nobody knows that but the guys in that locker room. I thought the Timo Meyer goal was great. I've been saying this for a while. Many of us have. I see on all the Facebook pages and Instagram pages and everybody about like garbage goals. Get the puck to the net. If you're struggling to score, keep it simple. Throw it on the net, crash the net, get those rebounds, fight for those goals, and fight for your life. It seems like they're trying to be too perfect, too many perfect passes that then get intercepted, waiting for that perfect opportunity to shoot, and then you're sailing it wide. Sometimes you got an opportunity to throw it on the net, throw it on the net, and crash the net. They do have some guys that are good at doing that. Guys like Meyer, Connor Brown, Nico has done that very well in his career too. We got to utilize that a little bit more here. Switch it up somehow. I just think when teams have such a hard time scoring, you always see them turn it around by keeping it simple and just going north south. And we're going to cut out some of the fancy stuff here. And for the Devils, outside of Jack Hughes, I wouldn't let anyone do anything fancy right now. He's the only guy that has I'd say, have the green light to do that because he's earned it. Everybody else, let's keep this simple, boys. Let's get this on the net. Let's get those rebounds. Let's try and get those chances, those pigeon goals, as Reese likes to say. Do that. That seems to be a little bit more of a solution than whatever they've been doing. And I'm not just making that up because we see teams do that all the time. We hear coaches quote that quote from coaches all the time from teams that are struggling to score. We're trying to just keep it simple, trying not to make this too complicated, like any sport. If you're struggling as a pitcher, all right, we're going to keep it simple. We're not going to try and nitpick corners here. We're going to try and just execute pitches and let's keep this simple. If you're a golfer, like I am, all right, I'm not feeling this today. I don't necessarily have my confidence. Let's try and keep this simple. We're just going to go try and aim center fairway, center green. Keep this simple. We're not going to be too cute today. We're not trying to pick little corners or quadrants or any of that. I think the same is with hockey. Sometimes you got to keep it simple. North, south, set up, quick shots on net, crash the net, fight and work your ass off for some goals. I thought the Meyer goal was that, and they need a little bit more of that. And they weren't really able to generate chances like that during the game. And especially 5-on-5, they didn't really have the puck possession to do that, period. But Rupp had mentioned that with those shots on net for rebound goals, you got to actually get the shots on net. And he had made a kind of an observation in the post game about how a lot of those shots are just missing the net. Missing the net, then wrapping around the boards, leaving the zone, and now plays over. So kind of more of the same. It just feels to me like this is just more of what we've seen since the middle of November. And I was listening to some stuff today, this morning on NHL Network. Elliot Friedman, Matt Lachlan was on the NHL Network today, too, about how it does feel like once that Jack Hughes hand injury happened, like just the air came out of the balloon and it just hasn't come back. And I don't know how you fix that without a huge change, but I don't know how you fix that. If this was just another 2-1 loss coming back out of the Olympics, I wouldn't be so negative. This is just more of the same. We've seen this show now how many times this year, especially since that injury. It's like the air is out of the balloon, and I just don't know what happened to the psyche of this team after that night, um, where they just can't score. So I guess that's that for the Devils and Sabers. They're going to be moving on to Pittsburgh, but first, let's go through some other scores. Not a good one. Utica lost 6-3 to Hershey. They're having a rough season, but I have my Adirondack Thunder shirt on right now. I love the Thunder. Used to go to games, used to ski at Gore all the time. I'll be back up there soon. Hanging out up in North Creek and all that stuff, going to Beck's. Great spots up there. Going and catching out a Thunder game down in Glens Falls, not too far away. And they won tonight, 5-4 against Reading in Glens Falls, and they remain first in the North Division. So as of right now, the Thunder are the only team in this franchise that are doing pretty well. So Thunder right now look like they're going to the playoffs. Certainly follow them if you have an opportunity to. Some of these guys might be future Devils. I know it's the ECHL, but certainly entertaining and always good to support another franchise that is within our umbrella of Devils hockey. Other relevant NHL scores tonight for us. Washington beat the Flyers. Wasn't too much going on that really affects the Devils tonight. But Washington beat Philly 3-1. Those are two teams that are between us and a playoff spot. So I kind of pick your poison who you want to win that one. Do you want it to be the Flyers? So then Washington stays a little bit further back because they're closer to a playoff spot. Or you want Washington to win and keep another team immediately ahead of us within striking distance? I don't know. Either way, it's not a great outcome for the Devils, period, as they continue to fall back. Devils are still now about 11 points. Well, let's check right now. Devils are going to be, yeah, 11 points out of the second wild card spot, 11 points behind the Islanders. Now the Isles have a game in hand, so not good. But next up, we got Pittsburgh going to Pittsburgh. Travel day for the Devils. No Sidney Crosby. He's going to be out for a few weeks from the Penguins. We had said on the show last night we weren't really sure what was going to be happening with Sidney, but it was announced today that he's going to be out for a few weeks. So Pittsburgh, they're in a playoff spot, fighting for a spot. They haven't been there in a little bit. And Malkin, as always, steps up in Sid's absence. He's going to be dangerous. Guy you got to keep in the lookout for. Rupp mentioned in a post game about how wouldn't be too shocked to see Malkin move back to the center ice position where he tends to be the most comfortable. Malkin is a bona fide Hall of Famer who's having a resurgence this year, so you got to be careful with that. They also have had some good performances throughout their lineup this year. Anthony Mantha, 42 points, 56 games. Brian Rust, 40 points in 49 games. Erik Karlsson having a solid year, 35 points, 51 games. So they've had some good scoring. Right now, they're fourth in the league in goals for per game, 10th in goals against. Their power play is fourth, and their penalty kill is third. Tough test for the Devils. Now, trying to be glass half full, which has been kind of tough in Devils land. Could this be Pittsburgh has to shake off some cobwebs here after this long break, and the Devils just did that tonight, so maybe they can catch Pittsburgh asleep a little bit to start the game? Maybe. Could we be a little bit sharper, having already had the full game under our belt and post-Olympic break to come out and maybe do some damage? Sure. They really, really, really need this game. Really, really need this game against Pittsburgh. Yeah, it's not looking good. I'd love to be positive with everybody here and say, no, guys, we got this. And again, a 2-1 loss that the Devils, I wouldn't say were thoroughly outplayed. I thought they held their own for the most part. I thought Buffalo did play better. They deserved to win the game, but it wasn't like the Devils got blown out of the building. It's just this is more of the same. I have no reason to believe right now that we're going to see anything different in Pittsburgh. You hope at some point get some puck luck, things change and guys start building on that. But we're running out of time. We're running out of time. And saying that, we're out of time here for our shorty here on YouTube. So always catch us on Tuesday nights, 9 to 10 o'clock on Radio Garden State. You can listen in on radiogardenstate.com, radio.net, the Audacy app, Tunein app. Check us out on our YouTube page. Again, please comment. What do you guys think? Facebook, Instagram, same thing. We're always posting, putting things up. Feel free to reach out to us. I will be at Prudential Center on March 29th and April 9th with Mike and Chris from Radio Garden State doing a little hybrid Jersey Devils Brocast Radio Garden State thing before the game. So we'll be on the main concourse. Don't know exactly where yet, but if it's like last year, we'll be by Rock Whiskey Bar having a good time. So check us out. And as always, check us out on Tuesday nights. And listen, I'm going to end on a positive note. Let's go Devils. Let's catch Pittsburgh asleep here to start the game. Hopefully they had some cobwebs. They're a little tired. They're still trying to figure things out in the post-Sidney Crosby world for them, at least temporarily. Maybe we can come out, do some damage. Let's go Devils. Let's get this going, guys. Come on. Give me something to root for. Let's go Devils. See you soon.